Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the biggest enemy of your dreams isn't out there, but inside of you? It's a question that can sting at first, because no one likes to admit they sabotage themselves, that in some way they set up invisible barriers in their own path. But the truth is, that's often exactly what happens. Without even realizing it, we build walls in our minds that keep us from moving forward. These walls are formed silently, fed by thoughts that seem trivial at first, but grow heavier over time. A simple "I can't do it," repeated over and over, can become an invisible sentence, shaping decisions, actions, and even the dreams we give up on. Does that sound familiar to you? Often, this inner voice shows up as pessimism and anxiety. Before anything even happens, we're already imagining the worst-case scenarios. What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if everything goes wrong? A work meeting, an important conversation, or even the chance to learn something new suddenly turns into a minefield in our minds. Every step feels too risky, and fear leaves us frozen. And when that anxiety mixes with the habit of replaying small moments from the past, the impact is crushing. Maybe you remember a harsh critique from school, a cutting remark from a family member, or even a small mistake that seemed silly at the time but stuck with you. Suddenly, the past feels more powerful than the present in front of you. Each memory becomes proof that you're not capable, quietly reinforcing that sense of inadequacy. And in the end, one small event snowballs into something that paralyzes your entire life. This feeling shows up in daily life in many ways. A lot of people accept the idea that they're incapable before they've even tried. Sometimes the brain instantly shuts down a possibility before you even think it through, and that leads straight to procrastination. Projects get avoided, opportunities are ignored, important decisions are postponed, all because failure feels inevitable. But life doesn't wait, and every action we don't take has consequences. Not studying for an exam, not signing up for that course, not saying what we truly feel. Each missed chance reinforces the belief that we're not enough. And so a powerful, invisible cycle forms. Fear leads to inaction. Inaction creates poor results, and poor results feed even more fear. This cycle also affects relationships. People who self-sabotage often chase approval, constantly seeking in others the validation they can't find in themselves. At the same time, they feel smaller, less capable, less worthy, and that creates isolation and difficulty opening up genuinely. Accepting everything just to avoid disappointing others becomes routine, while their own desires are pushed aside. It's a painful paradox, trying to please yet emotionally pulling away, which prevents real connections from forming. And then come the extra layers of difficulty. Take perfectionism, for example. When you believe everything has to be flawless, you end up doing nothing. A delayed project, a dream locked away, words left unspoken, all because you don't feel ready. Excessive fear of criticism blocks expression, ideas, and talents. Refusing to ask for help only piles on more pressure and exhaustion. At the same time, self-neglect creeps in. Taking care of yourself starts to feel like a luxury you don't deserve, and constant guilt weighs you down every single day. To escape the pressure, many turn to distractions, social media, endless shows, food, anything that numbs the feeling of inadequacy, even if only for a moment. And in the middle of all this, anticipatory anxiety sneaks in like a thief, making you suffer for situations that haven't even happened yet. Put all of this together, and life starts to feel stuck. Progress seems impossible. Days repeat themselves without change, and any hope of transformation feels out of reach. Frustration builds, discouragement sets in, and if left unchecked, These states can evolve into severe depression, stealing away energy, motivation, and the ability to connect with life itself. But there is a way out, and it begins small, with actions that might seem insignificant but carry real transformative power. Setting simple daily goals, celebrating small victories, recognizing even the tiniest accomplishments, these start to reshape the inner narrative. Every step is proof that we are capable, proof that fear doesn't have to dictate our actions. Allowing yourself to ask for help, accepting that mistakes are part of the process, and challenging those sabotaging thoughts, these are essential tools. When we replace "I can't" with "I can try," we start building a new pattern, brick by brick. It's important to understand that change isn't immediate. Every attempt, every small victory, every conscious action helps break the cycle of self-sabotage. It's a continuous process of daily courage, acting even when afraid, caring for yourself, valuing every achievement, and learning from mistakes. Over time, these steps add up, creating confidence, autonomy, and a more balanced view of yourself. Life, once trapped behind invisible walls, begins to open up into real possibilities. Recognizing self-sabotage is only the first step. What comes next is practice, patience, and persistence. But every conscious choice is an act of affirmation. I can, I will, I deserve to try. And when we start acting this way, we realize those walls that once felt unbreakable were in large part built by ourselves. The good news is, if we built them, we can tear them down, one step at a time. In the end, self-sabotage doesn't have to define us. It can be understood, faced, and overcome. Every small action we take to challenge ourselves, care for ourselves, and value our own progress is a quiet but powerful victory. And that's how, step by step, life shifts from a cycle of fear and frustration into a journey of growth, learning, and real achievement.